Today on the show, I'm going to talk about my book, Chapter 16. My book is called Marriage, Mind, Funk, and Mindfulness. People funk with your mind, and other words that you can't say, you shouldn't say. They're bad words, but they do mess with your mind. I'll say it like that. Chapter 16 is about Kaylee. I called her Kaylee, but her real name is Cathy. Like my name's Catherine, and my nickname is Kate now, mostly. My cousins call me Kate. But in high school, I was Cathy. And when my sister-in-law, we married the brothers, our name was the same last name, and our first name was Cathy. And she asked that I don't use Cathy in my articles in the newspaper because people think it's her. And she's so nice and wonderful that she would never have a complaint about anybody in the city. So don't use Cathy. Or, why are you using Cathy? I don't like that. So as a very good friend of hers, she married my husband's younger brother. We became close. I thought she loved me more than my own sisters. I had 6 sisters, grew up with 6. I'm the youngest of 10 living children. My mom had 2 that passed away. So searching for validation and nurturing love in my 20s, I turned to Kaylee. That's chapter 16 of my book, Marriage, Mind, Funk, and Mindfulness. You'll find it on Amazon.com at $6.99. And my pen name is Kay Dean. So Kaylee, we became close, as sister-in-laws do sometimes. And I thought she was closer than a sister. And I didn't bother with my sisters as much. I just hung out with her and her husband and my husband, and we did things together. Like we went on a family trip to Orlando to the parks, and she stayed with my mother-in-law and father-in-law. Like, oh, I'll stay with them. I'm this and that. And she'd say, everything you want to. I know I fell for it. Okay, yes, I'm to blame too. But it was like love bombing. She would say anything that would make you feel good. But then it started, let's say this about down at the parks in Orlando. My cousin from Oregon came and she sat beside my husband really close on the bed. And I got so jealous. The green monster came out. The green monster. And that's from my childhood too. But I was born this way according to some of my siblings. And it's all my own fault that I am the way I am, or I am better, 95% better. But I'm trying to explain Kaylee, Cathy. Cathy became my best friend, but she had 4 sisters. And when we had the big argument at the end of our friendship where I said no contact after she love bombed, and then she gaslights, and then she hoovers you back. I've been through that a couple times, but I'm done with that. She's a very cruel person, even if she's not NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. She's very cruel. So my cousin that sat, and I told Kaylee, I'll use that name from the book, that I was jealous. I told her all about everything in the other chapters, and that how I get around people that are flirting with my husband or doing things that I don't think are appropriate from a friendship at work, things like that, because of the green monster. But I didn't know what the heck was wrong with me. I have to try not to say a lot of bad words about her because she's fragile, vulnerable. She like a predator. She sought out someone that was vulnerable, not vulnerable, that was like me, stupid, I guess is the right word. Very codependent, very people-pleasing, very, I want you to like me, so I'll say and do anything too, to whatever you want to do, I do. I have to like to do it, though. I wasn't that bad, but let's say this. She love bombed, and then I said something 5 years later after she married my husband's younger brother. She wasn't there for our wedding because we already had a 2-year-old daughter when we met her. And my husband's younger brother met her at a Halloween party. My pretties. That's what I think of. But I didn't know all this. I didn't know until I was 59 or 56. I was around 56, around there. What year was it? I don't even know. But I saw Sam Vaknin and Richard Grannon And I said, ding, ding, all the puzzle pieces fit. And she was very cruel. Everything I told her about my jealousies and the things with infidelity, adultery, fornication in my family's life that upset me, and with the National Guard and everything else. She said her babysitter, the babysitter quit babysitting their 8-month-old daughter, how old she was at the time, their oldest child. I agreed with the babysitter's husband, Tony, that Tina should quit because if he's that jealous, that's the best. Well, everything made a 180 in my life with her. And she started doing all the things that would make someone like me think that they were having an affair. And she did all this slick and sly and sneaky. And she did it at the times when no one else could see it but me. She'd say inappropriate things. Like I said, we're going on a second honeymoon after we were married 10 years to the Poconos. And she said, oh, I wish you would take me along. And she'd just say sit inappropriately with him. I'd be up front in church counting the collection from Sunday school, and she'd flop down, come in late with her kid and sit with my husband like, ha, 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 here I'm sitting. And she knew exactly how to get me. But yet, when I finally had a nervous breakdown and talked to her, she said, I would never have an affair with my own brother-in-law. It happens all the time, people. And then when we went to the church for counseling, she turned it all around, projected it back on me, that even I said all the things she said and did that were very inappropriate and not right to do to someone that she knew their heart like she knew mine. She ground my heart up like it was cheese in a grinder. And to get me back because she was mad at me, I would rather have her punch me right in the face. And then we went to the counseling with the preacher at our church. And that church closed down now. She was the treasurer of that church because she works with money. She worked with money. She's now a teacher. But whatever. The gist of this is to help anybody, just one person, to know there's people that are cruel, mean, nasty. They're not kind. And they will signal out to you. They'll, like a predator, selecting someone to get their supply from. I call it narcissistic supply, and I was narcissistically abused by her. And that is that no contact. That is what I'm staying with. I do not want to be around her. Things have happened in her life that were horrible. But vengeance is the Lord's. It's not my fault any of this happened, including COVID. I have nothing in it. If someone does, that's on them. But what happened with any health in the family, other than me almost dying from heartbreak from her, doing all the things to hurt me, gaslight me, and I believed she was sleeping with my husband. Yes, her own brother-in-law, but that happens all the time. Look at the sunlight coming in. It's a light, and I can't get that to stop. It's from the light in my bedroom. So I get all upset. I'm not going to read the chapter again. And I just want everyone to know there are people that do things like this. They're very cruel, heartless. And the preacher, this is how I'm going to end the show. The preacher said we could be even closer someday because we both love Jesus and we're Christians, and that's true, we do, but we didn't get closer because at the very end, I mealy-mouthed down and said, I'm sorry, I believed something that's not true, but I still have cognitive dissonance. At the very end, after we all talked, her husband and her, and my husband and me, with the preacher, John, at the head of the table, John Schaefer, he's dead and gone, and so is Kaylee's husband, because he got things in his health that happened. And I feel sorry for her and bad, but I'm not going to let her abuse me at all. It's not happening. No contact. Because the last thing she said was, even if I said and did those things you're saying, it's not my fault. Your marriage is so bad. She didn't laugh, but that's how she laughs. So yes, I'm a sinner saved by grace. But people like that are in this world, and they're never wrong. So thank you for watching my video, liking, subscribing, and I want you to just keep singing, dancing, making music, and having fun as much as possible.